Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's having a great morning so far on your Wednesday. Um, Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you'd like a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057 if you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some advice about your situation, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist, or if you just have some questions for me, please feel free to reach out. If you want to call, just remember to send a text to that number and let me know your name first, just so that I know it's you and that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience, that you've been watching my videos, etc., and that I can get you the help that you need. All right? All right, so let's get into what we're going to talk about today. So, what we're going to talk about today, this morning, is the decision of a lifetime. Yes, we are going to talk about the decision of a lifetime this morning. Have you ever been in a situation where you were caught between a rock and a hard place? Where you were trying to figure out if you should make this decision or that decision, if you should turn to the left, you should turn to the right. And each time you came close to making such a decision, it's like you were unsure. You weren't sure if you were doubting yourself essentially. You were like, if I make this decision, then this will turn out, then it'll turn out this way. If I make that decision, it will turn out that way. So you're in your mind, you're weighing all the things, you're thinking about all the things that could potentially go wrong and go the negative direction instead of positive, right? This relates to the narcissistic experience because during the narcissistic experience, when you first met your narcissist or the narcissist you were involved with and etc., they were placing seeds of doubt in your mind. They were having you second guess yourself so that you made the decision that you didn't want to make. I remember when I was dating my ex-wife, when we were dating in the dating stages, and there were times where I was thinking inside of my mind that something was too good to be true with this relationship. It seems as though our relationship, everything was great. And that's a good thing. Everything was great. It seems like we knew each other very well. It seemed as though, we liked similar things, that we thought about things similarly and things like that. And something just seemed too good to be true. And I couldn't quite put a finger on it, and I didn't know what was going on. And as we started to date, as we started to get to know each other, I hit a point where I said to her, and I wanted to sit down and talk with her about it, and I said, I'm not sure if this relationship is going to work, and I think that we should possibly go our separate ways, or maybe we could just be friends. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying, because and that was the decision that I was trying to make, this decision. And she came back at me and she said, what, you don't care about me? You don't love me? I thought you loved me. And I think that you're doubting yourself. I think that you overthink things. I think that you're taking this the wrong way. I think that we would be great together. I think that we should. I believe that God brought us together. And I was like, okay. And I started thinking about it. I prayed to God, about it, and it seemed as though every time I tried to leave the relationship, it's like something kept on pulling me back. It's like I would try to, attempt to leave. I was thinking about, should I even be in this relationship anymore? And it's like every time I tried to, end it, it's like I was pulled back in. I tried to leave, I was pulled back in. It was like I was trying to figure out why this resistance, why exactly was this happening to me? And I came to the realization later on, that that's part of my journey, that it was part of my journey. It was part of the plan of salvation, that I was supposed to be in that relationship. And I found out later that, as I self-reflected at, this time in my life, I started thinking about everything, replaying all the things that went on. I realized that that was something that I had to go through, that there was no other way. I had to go through that, because had I not gone through that, I would have met a narcissist 10 times dangerous than my ex-wife, who could have potentially destroyed my life. Or if that didn't happen, I would continue to be taken advantage of by everybody, and I wouldn't understand why it is that I keep giving so much, but yet I keep receiving so little. See, it's a decision that I had to sort of, come to realization that this decision is a decision that had to be made. And so when it comes down to the narcissistic experience, what's happening to you most likely, and if it's your first video you're watching, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate having you on the channel. What you're probably thinking to yourself right now, because you're probably, the bells are probably going off in your head, and you're probably thinking, should I not get married to this person? Should I date this person? Should I do this? Should I do that? You're probably caught between a rock and a hard place, and you're trying to figure out, which way to go. Given that I've presented the knowledge to you through the videos that I've created on my channel, you've probably been watching my videos for quite some time, and you've seen some of the content that I pushed out, and a lot of it, you're agreeing with a lot of it because it's resonating with you, it's making sense to you. And so at the end of the day, you have a decision to make. You know what I mean? You have to make this decision. You have to weigh everything out. You have to say, okay, if I make this decision, and you also have to think about where you are in your life. If you're a young person, let's say that you're in your early 20s and your teens and things like that, and you're trying to figure out, is this the right decision for me? You have to think about where you are in your life. Are you studying in school? Do you have a good job? Do you not have a lot of money? Do you come from a good family? You have to think of all these things before, you make that decision. How long have you known, this person that, you want to spend the rest of your life with? Is your spirit, that's another thing. I'm so glad this came to my mind just now. Is your spirituality in check? One thing that I talk about on my channel that a lot of people, sort of sideline and don't give a lot of interest to is the spiritual part of yourself, your spiritual strength, tapping into your spiritual, because this is really important, when it comes down to not just dating in general, but in life in general, in relationships, in life, how you handle situations. Your spiritual strength will help you get through the toughest times in your life. Okay. And so you have to ask yourself the most important question: am I spiritually sound enough for this relationship? Because whether this relationship goes forward, or not, you have to decide whether you have to know your own self inside your mind, what you are capable, what you can handle and what you can't handle. Right. And if you're a Christian or something, if you're a Christian, then you ought to bring it to God in prayer and say, God, is this the right, place for me? Is this the plan that you have for me? Should I leave this relationship? Now, I know it's not that easy. It's easier said than done. I get that. But what I'm saying is that, the decision of a lifetime, this is a decision of a lifetime that you have to make before entering that relationship, especially if you've seen all the signs, you've seen all the manipulation that I've talked about on my channel, you've seen all the gaslighting, you've seen them, distant, ghosting you when you needed them most. You've seen them, switch up on you, morph on you, change into a different person in the snap of a finger. You've seen them do all these things, but yet you still feel that connection to them. You're still so in love with them that it would be so hard for you. It would break your heart for you to leave them. Right? Or maybe they even told you that if you were to leave them, that they would be broken. That's actually something my ex-wife, when she was my girlfriend, that's one thing she said to me, that if I was the one who ended the relationship, if I left her, then she would be so broken. And so in a sense, inside my mind, that scared me a little bit, because if I ended up breaking up with her, because I also had this sense in my mind that if I did something like that, that she would potentially get me in some sort of trouble with the law. Like she would make up some domestic violence, false accusation against me, where I would then get in trouble with the cops. And then, as a black man in North America, this could be on my record for life, and then I would be in trouble, right? So I had to say to myself, it was a decision of a lifetime that I had to make. I had to say, I had to think of my future as well, because the thing I thought about also was that if, let's say, we did move forward, and let's say the relationship and it turned into marriage, let's say it didn't work out for some reason, right? And let's say that we got a divorce. I said to myself, worst case scenario, we don't have any kids, but we get a divorce, because at the end of the day, you can always untether some way from the divorce. You can always, end the marriage, and then you can be set free. You can move on with your life, right? But if you have kids with them, then unfortunately it's not so easy, right? Because you have kids, you have child custody, you have to figure out how you're going to split the assets, how you're going to split the how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, who's going to have the kids. And it's so much more to do. There's so much more to do. Now, I'm not trying to say by all means don't have kids. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that you have to weigh everything. You have to look at your current situation, and you have to see, okay, is this the right thing? Should I do this or should I do that, based on what is in front of you? Right. And that's why I have the one-on-one sessions, so I can help people. And thank you for all the people that book one-on-one sessions with me that I'm able to help. Thank you so much for allowing for me to help you. But that's why I do the sessions, so I can help people, realize, what's going on with them, and so that they can get the help that they need. And so what you have to understand, guys, is that with the narcissistic experience, knowing that all these things, about the smear campaign, and you understand and you see that they're not treating you with respect. They're invalidating you. They're cutting you off when you're speaking. They're walking ahead of you, or they're walking behind you, making it seem as though they're single, making it seem like they're not with you. They're not holding your hand, standing beside you. They're not hugging you the way that and you don't feel the love when they hug you. It just feels very shallow, very loose, and it doesn't feel like that person respects you. And when all these things are happening, and maybe they're selfish, maybe they're self-centered, maybe they always talk about I, and not about us, we. Right? Maybe you're seeing all these things right now. I don't know. Maybe this is your first video you're watching, and you're seeing, oh my gosh, this is starting to resonate with me, all of it. And this is a decision that you have to make. Do you want to move forward with somebody? Because the thing you also have to understand too is, when people show you who they are the first time, it's in your work to believe them, because 99% of the time they're acting that way, and they're showing you who they are for a reason, right? But the thing is that many of us, myself included, I was once there. Many of us, we don't like to, we like to ignore the red flags, because we think that if we were to, not ignore them, then we wouldn't be giving ourselves a chance. And I get that, because I was once there myself, where I was giving people many second chances. In fact, I was one of those people who didn't like to say the word no. I always like to say yes to everything. Now, by no means am I trying to say don't say yes. Don't think that I'm trying to, I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea about what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, you have to have boundaries. You have to know when to say no, and you have to know when to walk away when somebody's showing you that they do not care about you. I don't care if this guy is 6 feet. I don't care if he has a lot of money. I don't care if he's an athlete, and if it seems like, he has all his stuff together. If he's not treating you with respect, and he's showing you through his actions that he does not care about you, he's not there for you the times when you need him most, when he's ignoring you, when you guys are out in public, when he's walking ahead of you or behind you, or he's always on his phone, or he's checked out, or he's abusive to you, he hits you. Listen, that's another thing. If anybody, I don't care who it is, guys. I don't care who it is. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should be putting their hands on anybody. Nobody should be putting their hands on anybody. If a guy puts his hand, and I'm going to get to the woman, but hold on. If a guy puts his hands on you, even the first time, even if he apologized and said, yo, I didn't mean that, I don't care who he is, leave him right away. Do not give any second chances to somebody, especially if it's a guy who puts his hands on you, because I can guarantee you that is not the last time he's going to put his hands on you. right? Because everybody, especially grown adults, we should know how to control and regulate our emotions so that we don't do nonsense like putting our hands on people, because we were taught when we were kids, keep your hands and your feet to yourself, right? So if he puts his hands on you, that's a huge red flag that you need to walk away right now and get away from him. Now, same thing for the woman. If she's looking beautiful and all that, has her makeup done, her hair done, she's beautiful, she caters to you, and it seems like she has all her stuff together, she dresses nice for you, and she does all this, but she's disrespectful to you. She only cares about herself. She plays the victim. Anytime you guys are having an argument, she storms off on you, or she accuses you of being the abuser, or she accuses you of being a bad guy and all that stuff. If she's doing all that stuff to you now, just imagine what happens if you marry this woman. And what I want to explain to you guys, and this is something I had to learn the hard way for myself, marriage does not make anything better. It does not. I promise you guys. I don't care if this guy or this girl's a Christian or not. Marriage does not make them better. It will not change them for the better. It's going to make them 10 times worse. Why? I will answer that question. The answer is because when they get married to you and they know in the past that they've abused you and put their hands on you and they've done all these things and they've gotten away with it now they know that if they're married to you now they know that they have you locked down. Now they know that you are not going anywhere. Now they know inside their minds that you are committed to them and that they can hit you again and again and again and again, and you're just going to continue to take it. Right? So what I'm saying is that you have a decision to make of a lifetime. Decisions are life and death. There's life and death in decisions. Just like how there's life and death in the tongue, like what the Bible says, there's life and death in decisions as well. Right? So what I'm saying here, guys, and I'm not trying to, by any means tell anybody what to do, but what I'm trying to say is you have a big decision to make. And you need to make sure that you're doing the thing. You have to make sure that you are assessing everything, the pros and the cons. You have to make sure that you're not making this decision based off of how you feel. If you're a woman watching this video, listen to what I'm saying. Don't make this decision based off of how you feel. Because if you're making this decision based off of how you feel now, what's going to happen is you are going to get hurt in the future. That guy, he's going to cheat on you with another woman. He may even bring, if he's a narcissistic man, and this channel is about narcissists. If he's a narcissistic man, he's going to bring home women and he's going to bring them around, or not. He doesn't even have to bring them home. You'll start talking about, I met this woman at the gym the other day, or, this woman, she was batting her eyelashes at me and she was winking at me and all that the other day. He will do things like that to you to show you that he does not care about you, right? Even before he's gotten married, he will show you that. So what I'm saying, because there's a lot of women that, will say, okay, well, he does this, he'll get better. It was just an accident. He didn't mean to do it. Yes, he did mean to do it. He did. He knows exactly what he's doing. Same thing with the guy. Same thing with the girls. Guys, listen to me, young men, or men in general, listen to me very carefully. If a girl is showing you that I don't care if she's beautiful as hell. I don't care if she does this or that. Again, I don't care about that. What I care about is does she have enough respect for you? Right? Does she treat you well? Does she show up for you when you're at your lowest point, when you're discouraged and you're feeling bad? Does she show up for you? And does it feel genuine? Does it feel like, does it feel like a tit for tat where, where she feels as though you owe her something? You don't owe anybody anything. You don't. Don't think you owe anybody anything, because you don't. All right. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that, so this is before you even get into the, narcissistic experience, if you end up getting into it. So this is your warning. You have a decision of a lifetime to make before you accept or before you sign on that dotted line, meaning if you decide you want to get into marriage, you have a huge decision to make. That's a life and death decision. Now, I'm going to talk about post-narcissistic experience now. Post-narcissistic experience, you have a decision to make. So Pre is for the people that didn't get into the experience, and probably if this is their first video they're watching, then they're realizing, oh my gosh, I need to take a step back. This what I was just talking about is for those people, for you people. Now I'm going to talk about for the people for post narcissistic experience. If you just got out of the experience, if you were just discarded, or if you did the reverse discard where you ended the relationship with them. I've always said on my channel, and I'm going to say it again right here, do not, and I repeat, do not discard the narcissist. I don't care who you are, do not discard. Well, I'm going to rephrase that. I'm sorry. Do not discard the narcissist, but it depends on what narcissist you are dealing with, okay? If you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, do not discard them. Because if you do, and you tell them what you're going to do, they can become very violent, and they can, become very, very dangerous. They can put their hands on you, they can get a gun and they can kill you, they can get a knife and stab you to death, they can do all manner of things. These narcissists are very, very dangerous. So do not let the narcissist, and if you're going to leave, do not let them know that you are going to leave. Don't tell them what your next move is going to be. Don't go up to your narcissist and say, I want a divorce. Do not do that. I promise you, you will save yourself a lot of safety if you do not do that. I've always said, let the narcissist do whatever it is that they're going to do. If they discard you, great. That's a blessing in disguise that God removed them out of your life because they were never good for you to begin with, okay? So let them do whatever they want. If they're going to discard you, let them discard you, because eventually, whatever narcissist you're dealing with, they will eventually leave you. They will eventually leave you anyway. Eventually just leave you in the dark, whatever they decide, okay? But what I'm saying is here, post-narcissistic experience, you have a decision to make as well. Are you going to stay stuck? Or are you going to do what you need to do to rebuild yourself, to better yourself? Because many people, unfortunately, there are many people post-narcissistic experience that have decided that after all they've been through, that they don't want to ever date again, that they don't trust anybody anymore, that there's no good people out there. They start becoming negative like the narcissist. And that's a choice. That is a decision. So you have a decision to make post-narcissistic experience. Are you going to let this thing get you down? Because the thing is, and I want to tell you this here as well. The thing is that if you let you decide that if you let the narcissistic experience down you, then what you're actually telling the narcissist is that they got to you, that they won against you, that they beat you to it. And that's not what you want to show them, because when you show them that, then they will beat you down even more. And you don't even have to be in the same vicinity as them. They can prank call you, they will hoover you, they will test you, they will show up in places where you would frequent and all that stuff. They will do things like that to test you, right? Especially if they know that's how you think, that there's nobody out there that's better for you anymore and all that. So you have a decision to make as well. You also have a decision to make during the narcissistic experience if you're caught up in it right now. Are you going to reverse discard, or are you going to let them discard you? That's a big decision that you have to make as well. Do you think that you are strong enough to discard them? Do you know what you're doing? Are you spiritually sound? Or are you going to let them discard you? That's a decision you have to make yourself. Nobody can make this decision for you. You've got to make this decision yourself, right? So this is why it's called, the title of this video is Decision for a Lifetime. Or are you going to make the decision post or before you get into the experience? Are you going to make the decision to get yourself some help? Meaning, are you going to go see a therapist that knows what they're talking about narcissistic experience? Are you going to ask for help? Talk to your family members, your friends, your loved ones, and your parents if you have parents, or if you have siblings? Are you gonna get yourself some help? These are all decisions that you have to make on your own. Nobody can drive your car, be in the driver's seat for you. You have to make the decision on your own. And your best bet in these situations is to get as much help as you can. Is to look to see, and even the people you surround yourself with, your friends, your loved ones, get their input. Ask them what they think. If you're about to get into the narcissistic experience, ask them what they think about your partner, or about the person you're getting into it with. You may be surprised at the amount of people that would have a different take for you. But I would encourage you to get yourself some help. Because I'll tell you this, I want to tell you this. When I was getting married to my ex-wife in 2020, we got married in 2020, marriage ended in 2023. We were getting married in 2020. We were going to premarital counseling, me and her, believe it or not. We went to premarital counseling with my pastor at my church. When we went to premarital counseling, my pastor, he asked us a question. He said, what do you guys think is the number one cause of divorce? And we were guessing. I said, not listening to each other. My ex-wife said, communication or money. And we were saying all sorts of things, and those things weren't accurate. What he said was the number one cause for all divorces is people not getting help when they need it. Think about that for a second. People not getting help when they need it. That's the main cause of divorces. Makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you think about it, in a marriage, in a relationship, you have to understand that nobody's perfect. We all need help sometimes. Many of us, unfortunately, are stubborn. Many of us think that we know it all. Many of us think that we don't need help. And unfortunately, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to sound racist or anything like that, I'm just being straight up and I'm being honest. In the black community, it's very hard for black people in relationships and marriages, because a lot of times we believe that we don't. Now, I'm not saying I'm one of them, because I know when to say I need help, or when I don't know something, I ask for help, or I ask for clarification. Do I miss the ball sometimes? Absolutely, because I'm a human being. But a lot of black people in relationships and marriages don't know how to say I need help. Don't know how to go and get help, because as a culture, they were structured to always be strong, and we were taught as black men to not let our emotions show. And so we think that we can handle the world on our own. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that this goes back to my title. You have a decision to make. You have to make a decision of if is to get help, right? Whether it's before, if you're trying to figure out whether to go for it, go and get help. Ask for help. Ask for some guidance. Because chances are, if you're watching this video, this would probably be your first marriage, right? And you've never been married before. So it only makes sense to ask for help with something that you've never been with something you've never been through before. You might as well ask for help, right? And that's another thing. I want to point this out as well. You need to watch out for this as well. This is something that just actually came to my mind. If, for whatever reason, you are getting involved with somebody, this is more for relationships, but you can sort of relate it to family as well. If, for whatever reason, anybody, I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your sibling, your family member, or your spouse, or your boyfriend, girl, I don't care who it is. If at any time anybody is trying to guilt you and trying to say, don't get help, why do you go and get help and all that stuff, that is a huge, huge red flag. Nobody should be telling you that you shouldn't be able to go get yourself some help. If they're gaslighting you and they're trying to say, oh, you don't need help, don't bother get help. If they're saying that to you, that is a huge red flag. Because what they're trying to do there is they're trying to isolate you. And see, now that I think about it, now that I'm starting to think about it, my ex-wife, when she was my girlfriend, she was trying to prevent me from actually going to get help, to see, for us to go to premarital counseling and all of that. She wanted me not even to spend time with my family, to talk with my family, because she knew that if I was to talk to them and spend too much time with them, then she knew that that someone would say something to me, and that I would have figured it out earlier, and then she would want nothing to do with me, right? So what I'm saying is that if anybody is telling you not to get help, that is a huge red flag. Go get help. You go get yourself some help. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't get any help, that you don't need any help, and they're trying to gaslight you and say, "Oh, you don't need help, and then you're trying to go get yourself some help because that's what's best for you. Don't let anybody talk to you like that, man. Do what you need to do for yourself, to take care of yourself, because you're your most best asset. Okay? And at the end of the day, you're all you're going to have. Whether the marriage goes forth or not, or whether your relationship with whomever goes forth or not, you are all you have. Nobody else is going to drive that driver's seat for you, all right? So that's why this video is called Decision of a Lifetime. Like I said before, I know some of my videos recently have been a little bit longer than usual, but it's because I'm trying to drive home points so that people can see the signs before it's too late, right? So you have a decision, a big decision. This decision is life or death, right? If you see, if inside your mind, the other thing I wanted to talk about too, before I end this video really quickly is, again, I made a video in the past that was entitled "The Number One Sign You Are Dealing with a Narcissist." Pay very close attention to this because I'm going to mention it in this video right here. The number one sign, what I will talk about in my video, that you know you're dealing with a narcissist, is that everything seems one-sided. It all feels one-sided. If in that relationship, whatever it is, you're with your family, with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, if it feels one-sided, like you are giving everything, like you feel like you're working so hard, but yet yet the other person, they're not giving much. Or you have to tell them what it means to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a supportive, partner or something like that. If you have to explain that to somebody, that in and of itself is also a huge red flag. Because they should know what a good boyfriend and a good girl or a good girlfriend or a good, part or a good family member, they should know what that's supposed to look like. You shouldn't have to explain that to them. Okay? Because all people should really have out for people is respect. We all deserve respect. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what class you are. If you're rich, if you're middle class, if you're low class, I don't care what you are. We all deserve some sort of respect. And if they can't simply respect you and turn a simple favor, or if you're with them and they make an excuse why they shouldn't have to do this or why they shouldn't have to do that, then that is a huge red flag that you need to take very, very seriously. Because what they're showing you, and I'm going to reiterate it again, what they show you now is going to be 10 times worse if you decide to take that next step with them. Because people don't change. That's something my dad taught me. My dad, who's a narcissist, he taught me when I was a kid. He said that people don't change. And he's right. Look at him. Look at my dad, who's a covert narcissist. He clearly hasn't changed, right? So what I'm saying is that people don't change. They stay who they are. People are who they are for a reason. And that's usually 99% of the time their upbringing, how they were brought up, right? So another thing I would say, I know I've said a lot in this video, but it's really important. Make sure that you get to know the people that this person you're considering surround themselves with. Get to know their friends. Get to know their family. Get to know the people that they surround themselves with. And if these people are also disrespectful to you, then you know that that's somebody you don't want in your life. If these people are nice to you, but then the person you're dealing with is the one that's disrespectful to you, then you know that there's something wrong. And then you know that that person is a master manipulator. And they've manipulated those people to act a certain way towards you so that they don't have to take accountability for who they are. So I hope that all this makes sense, guys. If you have any questions, if you have anything to say, drop comments below if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, guys, I hope that this video helped you out. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Crack the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Like I said, if you want a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. Send a text to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you have more questions, please feel free to reach out. Please remember, if you want to call, just send a text to me first, just so that I know it's you, because I won't answer if it's just a random phone call number. I might just block the number because I don't know who it is. Also, check out the link to the podcast I spoke on about my narcissistic experience, and you can learn something from that. Yeah, I hope that this video helped you out. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care.